All right. I have design work to do today, so I'm going to see if I can just kind of hop to it. Now, there's a few. Well, let's see. So I set this up here with a little watcher and it's not perfect, but it should get me going with a bit of design work here. So let's see if it actually changes when I save this. This should update, and it does appear to. So, you can see let's do A divided by 2. There it is. Perfect. Okay, so things are working okay, and I can use that to get some design work done. At least that's the hope. So pardon me, I'm a little tired. So I think what I do want to do to get this done is make my own want to make a design project to house all these little designs I have to do for when I move. So I want to give it a cheeky name. What would it be? Let's just do, this is silly, but names of mountains in Vancouver, or near Vancouver would be more technically correct. Let's see if there's cool names. Mount Hanover, Deeks Peak. Capilano Mountain sounds cool. Sure. Let's just give that. It's so unimportant, but it's fun to come up with names for projects. All right, so let's see here. This all looks correct. And the immediate thing to paste in here is the design starting files, and I just want to get this watcher working for me, and to see if I can get things going. Okay, so let's get the ball rolling here. design doc for new modular compact there. Capilano is the name of one of the mountains and rivers near Vancouver. It just sounds cool. There. Okay, good. Let's get the README. This is the design doc for my modular / compact furniture designs for when I move to Vancouver. Good enough. And let's see here. Clojure, let's do 10.2. Clojure script, I don't need. Spec and alpha I'm gonna keep here, but I don't really need them. And I need a few different things for here. So let's open up Forge and get the correct depths here so that I can work with some things. I actually just need Hawk. Let's put it at the bottom here. Oops. Hawk. There's Hawk, and then oh wait, I already, yeah. And this, I have a modified version of this library on my like locally installed, but is that right? Yeah. But I don't necessarily need it, so I'm just gonna pull in the simplest set of things that'll work for my needs. As of right now, I'm not gonna pull in my prototype Forge library. I am going to use the functionality of SCAD directly and see how well it goes in terms of design and stuff like that. You know, let's get rid of that too. I don't need it really. So those are those things. Here, Clojure string as string. And I'm actually not going to tangle anything right away. Whoops. Hey, how's it going, Mike? Hope you're doing well today. I managed to get a watcher working in, well, in some sense of the word. So I'm just moving the design files out to its own little project here. You doing all right? I'm glad to hear that. I'm doing pretty good myself. I've been a little tired this week, like more so than usual. I don't know what the deal is, but it's not bad. Just I had to sleep in longer than I thought. So it's weird, right? Because sleeping in, I mean, I had to do it, right? I was tired. I needed the energy and the rest. So you feel good for resting, but I feel kind of like Oh no, maybe I kind of had other things I wanted to do instead of just sleep, so I feel a little bit bad. It's silly, but sometimes that's how my brain goes. I'll just show you here. This file, I save changes into that file, and then a watcher builds it in the background, and it updates here. Sometimes it might be hard to see. If I change this dimension way down, it disappears because it's tiny. 20. See, there it is. 200. So I'm going to use this workflow today to build some design documents for some new furniture and see what I can do with that. So I'm set up to get a bit of work done here. I hope, anyway. We'll see how it goes. What's this now? Oops. That's a little weird, but whatever. Sounds like we're in for a productive day. Well, maybe you've jinxed it now. Maybe. Hopefully. So I have once this design file is running with this watcher thing, I have a specific kind of idea in mind for what I want to build first, and it's going to look kind of boring because it's basically going to be a box out of plywood and stuff like that. But I want to make it parametric because the whole idea is to make these sort of trunks that hold different kinds of equipment. So like my streaming and computer stuff goes into one, along with like microphones and cords. And the idea is I want to have slots in it that I could put in little dividers and make it all easier to organize and stuff like that. And I want to build a few of those out, but they all have to nest into each other so it stacks easy and compact and all that. So we'll see what I can get done today. Hey, Emerson, how's it going? I hope you're well today. So enough chit chat with that. Let's just try to get this watcher working. So this CSG one I'm going to take out because I know it's not relevant right now. The design watcher. The files I want to change a little bit here. It's going to save to out.scad. Design.cljc should kind of be fine, I guess. I should finish this. You doing okay today, Emerson? Hope things are going well for you. Right. Oh, another thing. I am pretty, yeah, you're fine? Glad to hear it. That's good. Just a normal day? What about me? Yeah, I'm doing pretty well. Well, yeah, pretty normal day for me as well. I'm doing some 3D design work today, which is always enjoyable. I like doing that. I have a decent workflow for some rapid design prototyping, which is exciting. It means I should be able to get into the shop this weekend and maybe build out a few of these things, but we'll have to see. I managed to post a new YouTube video last night, and it's getting a few views, which is exciting. So, things are actually pretty good. Just feeling a little tired, but hey, nothing wrong with that. All right, so let's let's just get this going. Oh, whoops. I guess I didn't save this yet. All right, let's give that a shot. You saw it, but you fell asleep before you could get around to watching it. No worries. Gonna check it out tonight. Yeah, feel free. It's I'm trying to find a way to make videos that are useful to watch but not crazy long, and it's a bit of a it's a bit of an art, a little bit of an art more than a science. So I'm still working on that, but I'm pretty happy with the outcome. In part because that was the first video I used my FFmpeg automation stuff with, and that sped up the process, which was exciting for me. So it's all steps in the right direction. All right, so I should be able to launch this now. There we go. Oh, did something wrong. Unmatched delimiter. There's a typo in my depths. Let's see. What? Oh, here. Let's try again. So this is I've said it before, this is how I work. While things are launching here, another reminder, like I remembered I had to look up something about plywood here, so I started searching that, and now that's up. The reason I'm looking up the density of plywood is I want to build trunks, like boxes to hold some stuff, but I want them to be sturdy and relatively lightweight. So I have this idea about maybe making something with that sort of interleaves sturdy cardboard with single ply, but I don't know if that's going to be smart or a waste of time. If the plywood I can get is light enough, then I shouldn't worry about it. But plywood can get pretty heavy, so that's why I'm thinking about that. But now back to this other thing where I have to actually launch this project. Man, sometimes I worry that no one else in the entire world uses their brain the way I use mine, but that's very likely untrue. I just feel scattered sometimes, you know? Okay, so this watcher is going to watch a file that doesn't currently exist. Oh. There we go. It's going to be difficult to make quick videos for my content. It's a bit more technical. There's a lot of the tools. There is a lot to the tools I'm using. Yeah, that's true. Probably do several videos on topics. If they've been good introductions to empower users of the tools to dive further into them or to ask the right questions. Yeah, that's the balance I'm trying to strike. If I were to go into detail for everything, the videos would be these really long things, and they're basically lessons, right? But that's not necessarily what I'm going for. I'm more going for a showcase with some explanation of the thought process. And then you use the word empower, which is what I'm trying to go for. It's not, hey, do exactly what I do to get this thing. It's, hey, look at this thing I made. This is how I thought about it. And feel free to build on these ideas yourself. That's kind of more what I'm going for. But yeah, since it's technical stuff, there is that element of needing to explain at least some of it, right? So it's an interesting balance to strike. I'm happy with it so far, and there's, it just like how I write my code, you got to iterate on it, right? Do it one way and see what works, see what doesn't, and just keep trying to build on it. I'm excited. I really do enjoy doing it. So those videos are going to keep coming, and they're going to keep evolving. So I personally am really excited about that. So stay tuned, everyone. Okay, so I have to change this watcher just a little bit. First of all, let's touch out.scad here. Let's get this to, let's open this scad file. Oop. Okay, here's an empty file. It's lovely, it's beautiful. Okay, okay, so right now what I would like to do is pop into this. Oh, see, I don't know why that's a little strange, but that's okay. Let's do model refer all. How do you do accept use? I wonder if that's valid. I don't know. Huh, kinda. It didn't work the way I thought though. Okay. Well, never mind that then. Oh, maybe it's supposed to be exclude. Oops. Okay, that looks like it's kind of gonna work. Let's try again. All right. Let's give that a shot. Okay, it just didn't work. Okay, I'm not going to worry about that then. I'll just leave it be. It's not a big deal right now. I'm not using those features anyway. If I were to make this more proper, I would be a little more careful with that. But that's okay. So what I can do instead, oh, there is I think it's scad clj.scad refer write scad, I think. Yeah, so if I do write scad, there we go. Okay, so here I'm just going to spit a sphere. The file name, what did I call it? Out.scad. And then this. There we go. Okay, so here I'm gonna hide this, but see what's happening here? Write scad is creating this string. It's compiling basically this Clojure form into scad code. And then I'm just saving it to this file, and then this program OpenSCAD is watching the file and just rendering it out as if it were a normal file, because it is. So that's what's happening here. This editor shows this is exactly the same string that was here, right? So if I were to write this and change it, you got to give it a second to refresh, I guess, and then it should change to radius of 10. It might be I might have messed up precedence or something like that, where oh no, I also didn't save it. That's the I did the wrong thing. Give it a second, it should work now, right? Oh geez, I see what's going on. I'm not paying attention. There we go. That's what I'm looking for. Right, so anytime I save a change to this file, it updates here. So the watcher, I want to modify it slightly. Right now I hard-coded the path to a single file that I wanted it to watch, but what I want to do instead is, let's say, watch a file, and then any change to the file, I want to render it into the SCAD file. So what I believe I can do is what can I do? Let's make a hawk/watch. Oops. Let's just to keep things a little bit clean here, let's do make dir design, and we'll watch the design folder. So that's just gonna be paths design / I think that should watch the whole folder for me. Oop, need to keep that open. Handler, I'm going to give function, context, and event. And before I make that weird looking mess, I want to, well, actually, let's go to the site here and see what this thing can tell me. Oh, let's filter like that. And let's, for this function here, I just want to do print line E and return the context like that, just to get an idea of things here. So, whoop. Oh, I'm not in the namespace I wanted to be in, of course. And actually, the watcher namespace, I only need these things. So there we go. Let's go with that. All right, so test watch is running right now, I believe. CD design. Let's touch box.cljc. There we go. Okay, so here, this has returned, because I have the handler function just doing print line event E, it's returned the event, which is a map that says file, and it's an object. So this, oh, it's a Java file object, and then the kind is the key. So it created the file. If I vim box here and insert, oh, that's weird. It fired another create. Oh, whatever. Let's not worry about that right now. If I save and quit this, it should do a modify. It did 2 modifies. Okay, so things are a little weirder than... Oh, I see what's happening. So there's temporary files being observed. Okay, so... well, okay, let me... now I want to see what happens if I change this up a little bit. So the event E, I want to get the file from it, and I don't know. I'll be right back. Right, sorry about that. Bit of a delay there. Right, so what was I attempting to do here? It was I wonder if you can slurp with a file object directly. I have no idea. I'm kind of guessing no, but let's see what happens. I also don't know what happens when you oh, it looks like I have to actually make a new watcher entirely. Doesn't seem to be doing anything different, so time to change that. I'm not so sure about this one. But let's give it one quick try. If I can't get something working soon, I'll just go use this approach, which will work fine for a single file, but isn't particularly sustainable. But that's okay for today, for sure. Not a big deal. All right, here we are. Let's get this thing going. Let's try this test watch one more time. I think it might give me an error or do nothing. Huh. Well, I mean, I suppose I may as well give this a try, right? Oops, don't need two of those. Oop. Oh, silly me. I need this. I guess I do need these. I thought I didn't, but alas, I do. Yeah, that's fine. Let's try this. I think it won't work, but Yeah, see there, I already get errors. So let's insert, let's just try this, sphere 100. Yeah, no, it's not going to do the trick. Stop. Let's stop test 2. And let's stop the other one. Oop. All right, so let's just get rid of it. It's certainly not ideal. I'm just hard coding this design file into here, but that will work. I just need to get some design work done, so I'm just going to be okay with it for today. The path has to be design/design.cljc. Let's make it before I run this. Spit to out.scad, which is this file. So when I run this, I'm hoping it works the way I want. And vim just a little one-off tool, nothing wrong with that. You can make it generic later. Yeah, I think you're right. Just want to check that the watcher's actually watching it. Maybe it's not. I might have messed something up here. It looks like it's not actually defining this yet. Let's try that. Oh, there we go. It is working. Okay, so I think let's tangle this to design/design.cljc. Yes, okay, we're good. We're cooking. Hey Cobra, how's it going? All right, so now we've got enough that we can work with here. Things might still go wrong because this is just a basic tool, but we'll see what's up. So I would like to define not going to be here for long. That's okay, no worries there. You tried Vim today. First 3 hours you nearly killed someone. Yeah, I would imagine the first time you use Vim it's a little frustrating, right? You'll get there. Let's see here. Unfortunately, I don't have enough screen real estate, so I might be juggling things a little bit. Hopefully, that's okay with everyone. Oh, I have a solution, kind of. All right. It's okay. It's not perfect, but whatever. So we can close this. Let's say so let's define a piece of ply, and ply is going to be, it's going to take in, okay, so using this, well, let's go with this. 1/4 inch ply is actually 732. That's silly. Let's assume price isn't going to be a problem. Plywood's relatively cheap. So this is, by the way, how design engineers do things. Like, we just Google stuff and try to figure it out. You know, okay, so here, this 1/8 inch stuff is the stuff I have in my mind. Too early to say, but you're really glad with the decision you've made so far. You're learning so much. Yeah, Mike's totally right. You'll learn quick, and you'll feel more and more confident every day with it. All right, let's go with 1/8 ply. Let's see what the actual thickness is. 1/8 plywood actual thickness. Took you an hour to figure out how to run a file on Vim. Yeah, I'm laughing, but not that that's a problem. Just that, oh yeah, I totally. It takes time, you know. I'm not laughing at you or how long it takes. It takes as long as it takes. That's just how it goes. Okay, so 1/8 inch is 332. So, okay. Width and let's do length and width are the inputs. Let T be 3/32, sold as 1/8 inch. Oh, that's the wrong way to do that. Got to do that here. That'll be fine. What's helped me is to create a cheat sheet of commands you use. You can look them up whenever you forget. Commands you use regularly will get solidified right away. Uncommon ones you'll be looking up every time. Yeah, Mike is 100% right. There's a lot of things that, because let's say you use CD, LS, RM, touch, make dir, let's say every day-ish. And then, I don't know, there might be, you might have to do a symlink at some point. And you do that once a month or maybe once a year. Like, it totally depends. But there's no way without a cheat sheet or access to Google that you're going to remember how to do it. Mike's got great advice. You've got a whiteboard? Oh, that's perfect too. Yeah, write things on the whiteboard and take a picture with your phone so that if you erase the whiteboard, you've got a history or something. Or do what you want, right? Whiteboards aren't meant to be treasured forever and ever. So let's just finish this bit up here. This is going to be a cube. I forget what order things are in. I think it's like this: length, width, thickness. Okay, so let's try that. Ply. I hope this works. It might not. Let's say, I don't know, I need to be 70 by 30. Let's see if this works. It does. Okay. Oops. Uh-oh. That's not what I wanted to do. Whatever. I'm fiddling around with this too much. Okay, so all right, let's make a parameters map. This is essentially a static kind of file, so I don't have to wrap it in an atom or anything. It's not really an app. I'm just writing a thing and it's statically getting it's getting compiled, as it were, into a 3D model. So it's stateless. So I'm going to call these parameters. And so this particular design I'm working on is basically a box made out of plywood pieces. Very simple, kind of boring, but important to do and do reasonably well because, well, I mean, I'm going to put stuff in it and drive it across the country, so it needs to serve its purpose. So the global parameters are going to be the width, which they can be arbitrary right now. If I make everything parametric to these global dimensions, then I can just change them in the map and get whatever size box I need out of the design. So that's the beauty of parametric design, right? So let's make that depth 50, and let's make the height. Oh, by the way, I'm just assuming inches here because materials available are in feet and inches. That's the reason. I would love to use metric everywhere. Is 5 inches enough? Well, that's a topic that I'm not going to discuss. You'll have to do your own independent research on that one there, Cobra. But this is the height of this should be I don't know where my tape measure went, so I'm not going to worry about it. I'll just guess that it's 30. So these are the global parameters, and how should I let's see here. Let's do so here's what I'll do. I'll make the main item here, and it takes in the params as its only argument. So I can destructure the parameters using this keys logic here. So width, depth, height. Okay, so to stub the whole thing in, the obvious first thing to do is a cube with a width, a depth, and a height. Come on. Right, so now, if I save this, nothing is being rendered, right? So I have to do chest, pass in params, and that should make a box with these dimensions. Yeah, it does. I don't know why this doesn't necessarily refresh all the time. It's not great, but it should be okay. So what I can do, and this is not how I want to actually construct it, but I can quickly work on stuff by doing, I can start to do CSG operations, so unions and differences and stuff like that. So I'm going to show you the difference approach here. So how difference works is by Let's see. I think it's like this. If I make a cube and I do, let's add here, let t be, let's say 1 just for demonstration purposes. Ooh, that's not what I intended to do. That's there. Okay. Right, so this cube is going to have width minus 2t. Oop. Same with the thinking. Yeah, the depth is going to be exactly the same, 2t, and then the height is going to be different. I want to leave the height actually the same, and then I just need to wrap this cube in a translate like this. Okay, so this translate, I'm going to translate it 0, 0, and vertically in the t by a distance of t. So if I save this, it should work for me. Oop, something went wrong. Let's see, what did I do wrong here? Translate. Man, my typos are atrocious. Oop. Okay, so that almost worked, but it didn't, as you can see. I have to do the difference the other way around. Okay, so there we go. That is the power of CSG operations. So difference is, so what I've just done here, right? I made 2 boxes and then subtracted the volume of one box using the other one. So that's what CSG operations do. And so the reason this isn't really helpful for my design needs is because I haven't actually learned anything, or I haven't indicated how to actually build this box, right? It's just literally just a subtraction, right? So it's not really good enough for my design needs. So what I would like to do is build up a slightly better approach here. So what I want to do is make a panel, and it's going to take a width and a height. So the reason I'm designing the panel function not to take in the parameter map is because the panel is not, it's just some generic part that I'm building. The idea is the final chest function is the only one, or it's like the main entry point that takes it in. Now I can change that later, but I don't want to, I want to make it relatively obvious what the different things are doing without having to use the keys and cluttering up the global parameter keys with more than they need. I hope that makes some sense. So the panel actually, nice YouTube video today though. Hey, thanks Cobra, I appreciate that. I'm glad you checked it out. I am really excited about those videos. I enjoy making them, and they're fun, so I'm going to keep it up. And over time, I hope they can get a lot nicer too. Like, I think it edited just fine, but you know, the presentation of it, I want to get more artistic with it over time. I do my own drawings and animations and stuff too, so I want to see if I can eventually kind of merge my various creative interests into a nice set of videos. Just don't lose consistency. That's the main reason most people fail. Yeah. it can be tough, right? Because like, so those videos are fun to make, but a 15-minute video still takes at least 2 hours, right? If I get everything right on the first take, the take takes about half an hour. It takes more than half an hour to edit half an hour of footage, right? And I have to run it through my automated script, which, I mean, the script does all the work, but it still takes 20 minutes to run because of what's it called? Remuxing. Anyway, the point is they're non-trivial, right? So I understand why people start to lose consistency, but I'm going to do my best. I'll have to see how it all comes together, right? Okay, so this panel, I want to make it, you could never do YouTube, you hate video editing. You did some for work experience and you hated it. I don't blame you. It's the final edit is my least favorite part of the process. I don't hate it, but it's always the thing I least enjoy. So I get that. But also my video edits are really simple. They're basically straight cuts, right? So I just am cutting out stuff that I don't need in the video. So it's not difficult for me to edit. It's just tedious, right? All right, so this panel has a width, a height, and a thickness. So I want to build the panel up from different ply levels. So right, so let's see here. Let's let base be ply width height. Then, let's finish building out these little pieces yet. Let's see. Okay, let's make the frame. So frame is going to be difference. Can you do difference of 3 things? I wonder. Oops. Looks like no. Oh, it might be because this is not complete yet. Come on. No, that's not it. Let's see here. Unmatched delimiter. Did I mess something up here? It kind of works. Okay. Okay. Well. All right. Let's get back to this. Okay, so this frame is going to be the difference between a few things. So the difference first will be between Well, let's not go crazy with this. Let's make it the difference between base, and we'll move base. Let's make this square. Dimensions are going to be here we go. I have an idea. So this is going to be cube. The height is going to be thickness. The width we'll make the width height is the wrong idea. It should be depth, I guess. Oh, no. Length, width. Okay. So the cube is going to be half the length, 2.0, and the width, except that it has to be minus 2 times the thickness. Likewise here. Worst thing about this is it can get a little hard to read. That's not the best all the time, but I'll make it work. Okay, so the width minus this, and then the last thing is the cube is going to be the thickness in height. So this square piece is going to be translated a certain amount, like this, and there's going to be, what happened? Come on. One more. Okay, that's the frame. Let's just render the frame in there for a minute. But before I finish this, I have to translate the cube to its correct position. And that's going to be 0 in the Z direction seems fine. Same on this one. 0x, it's just going to have to move in the Y direction by I don't know if this is right, but let's see. Move it by the width divided by 6. And then this one will be the width divided by -6. I don't know if that's going to be right, but let's save it and see if we can get it to render. Instead of the chest parameters, I want to render panel, and I want to give it 100 by 770. No, something went wrong. Oh, the thickness I need yet. Okay, we're kind of there, but not yet. So let's get rid of this one. Let's move it to 0 and see where we're at. Let's do it this way. That's looking closer. It's not right, but it's moving in the correct direction. All right, so with that, yeah, so this should be there we go. Okay, so The idea here is to kind of stack. I really am wondering if this is actually going to be worth the trouble. To be completely honest, I think it might not be. Let's calculate for just a moment. Let's imagine a 3/8 ply. Volume, length, width, height. I'm not consistent with length, width, clearly. Sometimes I call it width, depth, and that's not great, but it's just going to be fine for the time being. So the volume is just length times width times height. And then mass would be the volume and the density. Right, so I don't know why I'm making, these are kind of needless functions, but whatever. So let's do, I don't really need all this, right? Let's just do one mass function, takes length, width, height, density, and they're just length times width times height times density. It's the whole thing. It's pretty easy. And so density, let's do plywood density. Let's take a rough guess at it. It doesn't have to be perfect. Okay, well, let's say let's just go with 1.42 pounds per square foot, which is let's just do it the simple way. So if we take it, let's do it this way. So given, yeah, we'll just hard code divided. So the length, if I give it in inches and divide it by 12, the width, same thing, 12. I don't need the height in this case because I am using pounds per square foot, right? So pounds per square foot for half-inch thick ply. Right, so these are really rough. These are really incomplete calculations, but they'll do the trick for estimating good design ideas. So That should be good. Right, so given L and width in inches returns estimated mass of 1/2 inch thick plywood piece. There we go. Okay, that's valid. So if I just copy these into this here, oops. Okay. Plywood density. What? Oh, it's def. Oops. There we go. Right, so if I take the mass of something that's 100 by 50 with the density of plywood density, that seems wrong. 50 pounds? My intuition for this is disappearing a little bit. Oh boy. All right, so that could be right. I'm not sure. Let's finish up with this panel though. I may as well see this idea through to the end and then see how good it's going to actually be. What would be really nice is if I have a better volume and density calculation. That does seem low, doesn't it? Well, let me just make sure that I didn't do crazy typos here. So if I do 12 by 12, this should be 1.42. Yeah, okay. So if I do 24 by 12, this should double. So I mean, it's looking kind of right. Is it 50 pounds in a point as opposed to being spread out? Well, so this is just a density calculation, right? So if you give, so it's really common to estimate, let's say you have a steel tube, right? The density of steel is around 0.289 pounds per cubic inch. So to get the density estimate, you would calculate the volume of a tube and then multiply that volume by the density. So you just need to make sure that your volume units and your density units are in this, they're the same units, right? So 50 pounds, I mean, and to be clear, this is literally, I clicked reference.com and picked a number. So the accuracy is a little off, but I'm just getting an order of magnitude kind of guess here. Cobra, what's going on? I'm just trying to so I'm designing some furniture, right? And some equipment that I'm actually going to build. And I'm going to be lugging it across the country in my car. So I want it to be fairly compact and relatively lightweight while still being sturdy. So to get a good design balance of those things, I want to know approximately how heavy my design will be before I physically make it. So you can look up density information, which is a weight per unit area or unit volume, and you can just you can calculate the volume of your piece, multiply it by the density, and you can estimate the weight that it's going to be. I was just a little concerned that I'm using bad numbers is all, but it might be kind of close. I'm going to look into this a little later, but I've got the basics, right? It's not too hard to figure out. It would be way cooler if I could just do a calculate volume and pass in a complex structure and it would automatically get the whole volume. Right now, I have to manually calculate the volume per shape. But Mike, is it 50 pounds in a single point as opposed to being spread out? That is technically irrelevant for the calculation I've done. I've just done a pure density and volume multiplication, so it's irrespective of anything. It's completely irrespective of shape, if that makes any sense to you. Do most people have two terminals open? If so, why? I can't say how other people work on stuff. I often have just one open, but that's even not entirely true. I'll often have one like this. If I Command T, there's now two terminals that share a window, so there's just two tabs in the terminal, so it's technically two. And the reason would be if you're running a long-running process in one terminal and you don't want to terminate it, you can just have a different terminal running something. So let's say I think that's a thing. So imagine I'm running, see this program is waiting, it's not doing anything. So let's imagine it's doing something useful. I don't want to kill it, but I want to use my terminal. I'll just open a second terminal. It's like if you have, say, Photoshop open and you're editing one image and you realize you want to edit another image, but you don't want to close the first Photoshop, you can open a second instance and now you're editing two things, right? Same idea with terminals. It totally depends on your workflow and what you want to achieve. I will often, I pretty much always have one open. How do you make a hotkey? I don't know. I can't answer that for you. It depends on what terminal you're using. You'll have to search. Yeah. Google that. If you're using the default Ubuntu terminals, I'm sure there's a reasonable tutorial on how to kind of achieve that. All right, let's finish up this panel thing here. So my whole idea was to kind of make my own fake plywood thing. So I would get real 1/8 ply. Oh, you want to do, okay, I see. So you don't want to make a hotkey, you want to make, I think they're called aliases, an alias. So alias, I don't know if you know that word, you might. ALIAS. That might be what you're looking for. Yeah, Mike's got it right there. Right, so for example, an alias is, oh, I don't have it. This is Python 2. This is old. Yeah, I don't have Python aliases to show you, but all right, let's just get something on the books here. What time is it here? I got a bit of time yet. We're good. Okay, so I could make this panel apply T like that instead. That might be smarter. Yeah, I don't know. Let's see here. Ply, I can just make it a cube. With ply T, and that'll just make this irrelevant later on. And the reason for this is to make Yeah, so the result of all of this is going to be, ooh, is there a group? I forget. Mike, that example you have there, alias, does that alias, it's temporary by default, right? I don't actually set up aliases all that often, so I can't remember. Let's see here. Cheat sheet, baby. Oh, come on, the site's not rendering nicely. Bummer. The curse of the floating menu. Jeez, I can't read anything. All right, I'm not going to complain. Guess I don't really need that, but okay. All right, enough dilly-dallying. Let's do 4. It's too late to do anything. Learning day, whatever Mike called it yesterday. If you put an alias in your bash.rc file, it becomes permanent. Okay, so yeah, it would be, I think it works with bash.rc. The default shell here is ZSH. So I think there's a ZSHRC that would be equivalent or something like that. But that, I had forgotten that. It's temporary if you just type it in the terminal, but if you put it in your configuration file, in your dot file, then it does maintain it permanently. That is obvious. Okay. For position, let's do height. Range starts at 0. Goes to thickness with a step size of ply thickness, and then you translate 00H copy of the frame. Now, is this going to work? I don't think it will. Ply thickness, let's do 332. Okay, actually not so bad. I'm not sure that it's rendering correctly. Let's see here. We can cheat it a little bit by doubling the translation height every time. So we get a gap. We should get a gap. Oops. This doesn't make sense to me right now. Let's see. There we go. Okay. .332 is not very thick, as it turns out. Oops. Whoop. Hey, woo. Right, so I'm realizing this idea is probably way more trouble than it's worth. So the intent was to kind of make my own. 332 is, I think, not right. The whole idea was to make my own plywood, basically, with thin ply pieces, and you glue it all together, and in these big open gaps here, these big cutouts, I would put in and glue in and compact it all together. I would get cardboard. So the idea is it would look nice if you get good outer ply pieces, because there would be a top panel that is completely plywood, but it would be lighter than plywood, yet still kind of reinforced on major axes, so in the center, on the edges and stuff like that. But I think the benefit I get from making my own panel in terms of a lighter material is way more trouble than it's worth. So I think I'm going to abandon this idea, at least for now. And I'm going to try build out the rest of this just using normal panel pieces. So let's call this panel panel idea. So I don't want to get rid of it. I don't need to. This I'll leave in as reference. It's not great, but it's fine. This is useless. I can get rid of that entirely. And let's go with, let's put T in the parameters here. It's 8:45 and I want to sleep. What's wrong with you? I don't think there's anything wrong with you. Go to bed. If you're tired, go to sleep. It's simple. 8:45? Yeah. Some days you need more sleep than others, you know? Or you're feeling more tired. You worked hard, you were learning a new operating system, right? That takes mental energy. It's okay to feel tired. Let's put the plywood thickness in here. Let's go with a 1/2 inch. So I'm just going to pretend that it's a 1/2 inch. No, that's a bad idea, actually. Actual thickness. Plywood. Yeah, learning is surprisingly taxing. Absolutely. 1532. Good enough for now. Working 7 a.m. to 5 p.m. in construction wasn't as tiring as working a 9 to 3 office job. Yeah, so I was about to say, Cobra, the emotional office work and physical labor work, so construction, like you say, are very different things. I always found when I would work in the greenhouses or the shop, it was physically demanding work, so my body would be tired by the end of the day, but my mind was still wanting to engage in, you know, hanging out with friends, studying here and there when I could. It was, you know, my mind was still okay because I didn't have to, you know, a lot of the work I did was a little bit on the easy side, right? So I could switch a little bit. The emotional side of office work, I couldn't bear it either. I don't work in an office anymore, and there's a real reason for that. It's not my style. But some people can pull it off for sure. Okay. So You're with the girl who had an office 9 to 5 job. You never knew why she was so depressed until you did it too. Yeah, so not all office work is created equal. Some jobs are going to be good, some are bad, but not all office jobs are like that. It is true not all office jobs are like that. It is also true that a lot are. So, this is not to be doom and gloom. There are many ways that you can find enjoyment in work. I personally think that big corporations kind of ruin a lot of things, and day-to-day life can be one of them if you're stuck under in a system that doesn't value humans. So it can be a problem, but it's not a guarantee. Mike's got a better perspective on good office work, I would imagine. Yeah, it's about the people that are there too, I think. It makes a major difference, right? How do I want to actually do this? It's not that hard. I'm just not trying too hard right now, Let's do panel. So what I'm thinking of is cutting slots into the panels so that they match up kind of nicely. Oh man. Okay, here's an idea. People in the office were nice, but not nice. They're like your neighbors you say hi to once a month. Yeah, so honestly, I can't weigh too much into this topic in general. I have personally very, very strong opinions and adverse reactions to having bosses. I I don't really do well with arbitrary authority. So just recognizing that in myself, I am working to build a unique career that'll actually suit me and my brain a little bit better than a normal office job. But that's just me as a person. That's not to condemn all office work. I mean, it certainly is to condemn bad bosses and bad working conditions. No one should have to put up with that. But I'm not convinced that all work is bad, right? I'm just convinced that a lot of people are willing to put up with bad work, if that makes sense. But I'm not, and I have to work hard to figure something else out. So my input and advice to this would be extremely biased because of those thoughts I have, Hard to find genuinely nice people in the workplace. When you find it, you very much enjoy the work. You're chasing the money, Cobra? So on that front, I would strongly advise you to be careful with that attitude, right? Money is like, everyone needs money in the current society we have so that you don't die of starvation or freezing if you don't have a home. Money is critically important. I'm not going to deny those things, but I think Mike has the same idea here. It past some threshold, and that threshold might be different for different people. It isn't worth having more. I don't think. Now, of course, it's obvious that people with tons and tons and tons of money have an insane amount of power, right? So if that's what you're after, I mean, if you're after power, money is the way to go there. But try not to ruin your life chasing it, right? Yeah, Mike, I have the same experience. I have exactly the same experience. I got paid pretty well at a few different places, but they were never my favorite places to work. It made me look forward to the weekends, and it gave me a skewed view on how I valued my time, Like, I was happier when I wasn't making money. But when I was making money, I was miserable, right? So in my head, it was like, well, okay, I make a lot of money by being miserable, and it threw me for a loop. It wasn't fun. It wasn't good. Okay, so let's make a panel that just has a cut down the middle of it, and I'll see how that looks as a panel piece. Oh no, that's a little bit wrong actually. Oh, I'm so sorry. I'm scatterbrained right now. It's just unfortunately the way it is today. Okay, length, width, thickness. The panel idea I have is basically a puzzle piece panel where you interleave cutouts like this. That's the idea I'm going for. I can use that, and if I can make it scalable, then I can make easily different kinds of box sizes that'll stack reasonably nicely together. That's the idea I'm going with. Okay. So we make the base panel, which is going to be LWT. And I have to subtract from that okay, so let's do 4 X range. Well, let's just do 0, 1, 2. And here we're going to translate something. We're going to translate a cube that's going to have let's change this a little bit. We'll do range 0 to 6. Can just do 6 starting at 0 is fine. And I want to translate a cube when x is even. I want to translate x 0, 0. And then I want to make it a cube that is the length divided by 6 by the thickness and thickness. I'm not sure that this will work. Let's see what it looks like. I think, oh, actually that's also not true. This has to be translated down by, or up, by the width, by half the width. Save that. It should render nothing. Oh, it might have broken something. Panel, let's do a 50 by 50 panel. Let's actually just do 24 by 24. Okay, something's wrong. And that something is what? There's good money in the field if you don't enjoy solving problems and figuring out solutions, as well as the software you're working on, you won't be happy, probably. You enjoy programming but don't enjoy the business part of things. You don't enjoy writing pseudocode or algorithms. Usually do the code first and then algorithm after the code is finished. How can you write an algorithm after you've written the code? Isn't it an algorithm at that point? I'll be right back. I'm gonna get myself some coffee. Sorry for the delay. What did I miss here? You telling Mike to stream? Tried your hand at it a while ago. You're playing a game people didn't care much for and didn't have the drive to keep going. Mike, I actually I had a similar thing. So the very first streams I did were programming, and then I stopped for a bit. I like programming streams because there's always something for me to talk about. Although today is not the greatest example of it. I'm a little scatterbrained. Apologies for that. But yeah, I did game streaming a little bit too, even before all of this. And I had the same thing where, like, it's so hard to stream to no one when you're trying to play a game, and it's not necessarily easy, right? So I get that. And then I decided to stream programming, which is a bit of a niche, and then Clojure, which is a bit of a niche again, and then Clojure for 3D modeling and 2D modeling, which is just another niche again. So I'm like, I've got like the inception of niches that I'm in, and somehow I figured that would be better than streaming games. I don't know what I'm doing is really the truth of it. All right, let's see here. Let's get... see what I'm doing wrong here. I have to actually read the... I've done this every time I've tried to invoke panel. I've used the wrong the wrong thickness every time. Okay, so what I'm trying to do is see these little blocks here. I'm trying to union them to the edges so that I have like fingers that I can nest together like that. I'm doing just fine, don't worry. Appreciate that. Yeah, I don't know how it happened really, but the stream I do here, the chats I get to have, I seriously enjoy it, and I'm happy to do it. I want to keep it up for sure. Let's see here. You enjoy watching people doing programming languages, Cobra? Well, I'm glad I can be part of that for you. Okay, so obviously this is off by half the thickness there, so I have to modify that. I also clearly have to modify the step size of the range so that it evenly distributes there. What I'm wondering is it might be better to... I don't know what it might be better to do. I think I might have to adjust the length of it by 2 times the range number I use here so that it's even smaller this way. I also have to now adjust the offset here by the width. Half the width minus the... oh, no. Let's be a little bit more clever about this. Let's do width plus thickness divided by 2. So that should adjust it a little bit more there. See that? Now it's in the right position. It's just not actually... it's not scale or translating to the right spots. Mike, it's more time commitment between work, sports, a wife, a dog. You don't have much time. Maybe on the weekends you could get time, but even that's unlikely. Yeah, Mike, I'm not surprised to hear that. Streaming takes a lot of time, eh? It's not it seems like a pretty straightforward thing, and I mean it's simple, but there's a lot of prep and stuff you have to do that. I feel like with me you get a good one-to-one session and you learn so much. Well, Cobra, I'm glad I can help. That means technically it's in your best interest to not share this stream to anyone at all, right? That way you get that you get more one-on-one time. But as much as I like to help, I do want this to be seen by more people, right? So I'm always glad to talk with people one-on-one, but if other people tune in, that's fun too. So, you know. What age should I get married? Yeah, Mike, good. Yeah, Mike's got that good wisdom there. Don't touch that subject for sure. I'll say this, Cobra. Get married when and if you want to. Don't get married if you don't feel like you want to. Don't get married if you're single, because that's a bad idea and doesn't even work. I would say don't rush into the things of the idea of marriage, you know? It's not worthless, marriage. You know, a lot of people think it's important, but if you're like, I don't know if I want to, don't stress about it. I don't think there's a clear timeline on life anyway, you know? When's the perfect time to do anything? There's probably no single perfect time to do something. There are many good times, there are many bad times to do things. And the human condition is in part trying to figure out when things are good to do. But all of that is the experience of one person's life will not match onto another's, right? You have to live your life your way. Yeah, don't blame everything on Mike. Mike's a willing and helpful person in chat, but don't make him your scapegoat, man. You gotta live your life, you know? Take responsibility. And you'll make mistakes, but that's part of the joy of life, you know, is discovering who still cares about you after you make mistakes, and discovering ways that you can still be a positive influence even when we make mistakes. Life's a challenge, but challenges can be a lot of fun. And don't get married before you feel ready to get married. Simple as that. Feel like a punching bag right now? Mike, I'm trying to stand up for you. Cobra's throwing shade all the way from Ireland. What's the deal? Okay, so what did I do wrong here? So I'm filtering, I'm not... Oh, okay. Here's the thing. I didn't scale the... what I need is the translation here not to just be the number x. It has to be x times some division, which I'm realizing should be in a let statement here. So I should do let finger width, I guess. Kind of a silly name, but that's going to be fine. And that is going to be this here. Right, so this, maybe that'll work for me. Maybe. Oh, there we go. Okay. That's closer to what I want to see, but not correct. Maybe it's just 6 after all. Whoops. Let's try that. Someone's got to be the bully here. So, Cobra, I know you're joking, but a moment of seriousness. It is simply not true that we need bullies. So, I know you're joking, but don't actually become a bully, please. I would not appreciate that. But I trust you. Cobra man, come on. We don't need bullies. We don't need bullies. I do know you're joking though, but I don't I so I have a big family. I have 3 sisters. One of my sisters grew up being bullied a little bit, and it genuinely made me sad. So bullies, it's bad news. Mike's a grown man. He can handle himself, I'm sure. But let's build each other up, you know? I like that supportive approach to things where possible. So what I'm trying to figure out is why this is way skewed over this way, and it might be, I don't know why. Oh, here, I think this is, if I do a static translate over the translate here. Oh, I can merge this nicely, but just give me a second to do this. Bullying's a serious issue that may not realize how deadly it can be. Uh-oh, Mike's got the power of the mod. Nobody can pick on me or I'll ban him. Yeah, so oh no, we've created a bully power struggle here apparently. Oh my goodness. Y'all need to behave, okay? My, how the turns have tabled. Oh my goodness. Nah, I trust you guys. I trust you guys. Things have not been a real problem in my chat, which is definitely good. And I'd like to keep it that way as much as possible. So this translate, I need to move it, I just need to move it plus half the length, right? Oh, now what? Oh, that's the wrong way. Dang it. There we go. Okay. So that is... So, I don't know. Do you think this is actually like a good design idea? So the whole... would it be... If I pinwheel this around on all 4 sides, would that be generic? Like, would I be able to nest all of them into each other? That's what I'll have to try here. Meet me at the playground at 5. It is going down. Like a 90s kids hero movie or something. Okay, so let's assume that this is a good idea. It's always a why not start there? So here, right, I've got, oh, I know. There's something I have to change up ever so slightly here. So I have to make a let, call it fingers, I suppose. It's a little strange, but I'll go with it. So what I want to do here is basically pop this whole thing, this for loop here, into the let here, because I'm going to translate and rotate it 4 times to get around the edges. So this translate goes away. Finger width I should pop out and put up here. Yeah, right? Yep, that's fine. The world's messiest refactor. And fingers is 3. So here, finger width yeah, that's fine. And F times 2 here, and F times 2. Okay, there we go. When that is that. The translate here occurs in what way? I think I need to translate along X like I've got here. The translate here should just be thickness divided by 2. Like that, and nothing on Z. And the cube is what it is there. And what have I done? Whoop. There we go. Right, so what I've just done here, number of fingers is 3, which means 1, 2, 3 of the bumps there. I can change this and it should theoretically change all of that. This fingers thing is a set of 3, or however many, floating pieces that by default are translated only along X. So what I need to do to union this is I need to now translate all of the fingers to their respective edges and rotate them appropriately so that it kind of pinwheels them all around. So to do that, I want to first I'm just briefly wondering if I should, well, let's actually here, let's see where fingers lies by default. Right, so I'm pretty sure that should end up in the middle. Yeah, okay, so I just realized I do want to bake into this one additional translate here so that it's in a nice position to work with. So I have to move it yet. Let's do another translate because why not? Yeah. So you can always combine translates into a single translate just by adding the vectors of each, right? I'm just keeping some translations separate just for readability purposes because the translate calculations, they're simple, but they can look really complicated really quickly just because you have to do a lot of add, subtract, multiply by 2, divide by 2 kind of stuff. So it's just a little easier to keep them separate sometimes. So we always know that I'm only working in the XY direction, so Z has a 0 translation. It's nice and easy. But here, to move these fingers into a useful starting position, what I would like to do is move in the Y direction. I've done this already, so it does look repetitive here, but I'm just trying to step through it slowly so that I don't lose track of things in my head, you know. This will be the width divided by 2. That should pop this up to here. So if I save that right now, oh, I need to zero out this one for a minute. Oh, come on, really? What did I do wrong here? Oh yes, I need to wrap it up. Yeah. So now all I need to do is pop this back here by, it's minus x divided by 2. But this I already did as well. So it's something divided by 2. And that something is a, what was it again? It was length, yeah, minus finger width. And finger width should actually technically be finger length because it's along the same direction as the length variable. A little bit of consistency is probably a good idea. All right. Okay, so using that, I should be able to, hopefully, union with rotate 90. Let's see if this works. How does rotate work again? I think it might be like this. Ah, yes, kind of. What? That's almost what I want, but not. Oh, that's right. This is gonna have to be radians. So 2 pi radians is 360. Pi is 180. So pi over 2 is gonna be what I need here. Math.pi or slash pi. Never remember. There we go. All right. So there we go. That's working nicely. That's actually really nice and simple. Let's do, that's pi over 2. This one's just going to be pi. And then this one, oops, gotta do this correctly. This one's not pi over 2, but pi times 2. I should get all of it. Oh, did I miss something? Oh, pi times 2 is wrong. It's 3 over 2, right? There we go. Sweet. Okay, that's pretty cool. Now what I need to check is my sanity. What I need to check is if I were to make, well, actually, before I go there, let's change the finger number to see if it's scaling appropriately. It is indeed. So in theory, right, my idea is you can tile these. Well, so you can see that the right side and the left side will nest into each other, which does mean that they'll nest into each other on a 90-degree angle as well. Now, the problem is it a problem? I have to see if it's actually true that they will nest on a corner when I fold it together like this. And if they do, then I'm good. If they don't, then I have to configure it by, I basically have to swap I have to have 2 finger rows. I have to alternate on even and alternate on odd, right? Like this. If I do odd, that flips them. I thought it would flip them. There we go. See that? Yeah, so normally my brain would be able to picture it, but it's not today. So what I'm going to do now, since I have the panel here, I'm going to make this Oops. Could cut a piece of paper to prove it would fold up. Your brain never functions, so don't worry. I'm sure it functions. It's fine. It's probably fine. You know what? I have to be consistent here. Mike, you're right that I could prove it with a piece of paper. I'm gonna assume it'll work, and I'm gonna line up this chest here I'm gonna build out the chest design using the panel function and see what it looks like at the corners. But yeah, you're right. Folding it up on a piece of paper would work too. I don't have a piece of paper literally in front of me, so I'm gonna use the computer. Let me just check that my timeline is still okay. Yeah, it looks good. I've got probably half an hour. Let's see. All right. Cool. Right, so given length, width, height, and thickness, I don't need the let here. Oop. Let's all right, let's go. I don't want to use panel right now. Let's just do one of these. Let's draw one panel. Oops, it is a function. Let's do a panel that takes the length, width, and thickness that I provided, and then we'll call the function chest with params. And that should look, yeah. Ooh, what? All right. Of course, that was silly of me. I forgot to make, yeah, okay, so here's what went wrong, right? The fingers only work, I have to make one for the length and the width. I can't use them both unless they're the same dimension. Obviously they're not in this case, right? So I get the wrong positioning here. Obviously, that was silly of me to forget that. But luckily, I can change it. Oh boy, let's do map. Okay, there's that. Okay, so this translate, I'm actually going to get rid of it. Let me put it here in a comment for a second because those numbers are still useful. All right, so trying to be a little bit clever here. Only one for loop. So instead, oh, wait a second. Is this going to work the way I want it to? Let me think. It will not. This won't destructure that way. I have to do it like this. Wait for it. Okay, so I have to Is this worth getting all confused like this for? I think maybe not. So let's just keep it. Let's not try to get too clever here. We'll just do it this way. I'll have two loops. They're easy to follow. So this is the length, fingers along length, which maybe I should do X, call it X. Oh, geez. X fingers, taking FL and all that junk. Copy this. This one's Y. And here for Y in the range, when it's even, translate this along FW. The thickness is the same. Cube of FW TT. Okay, so that should fix that. But I still need now to adjust the transforms on the rest of the panel here. So what I mean by that is now both X and Y finger components maybe I could still do it like this, because since they are now independent still, yeah, this will work. Is it normal for a laptop fan to be noisy? Used to be quiet. You never realize you can hear these fans on the laptop. Yeah, Cobra, it's pretty normal. Especially as laptops get a little older. Often they get a bit of dust inside them too. And the general, like the fans, they scale up their speed depending on the temperature of the CPU and GPU. And over time, laptops get a lot of junk inside them that warms them up a little bit. It's also true if the CPU is running hot, it'll ramp those fans up. And technically, it's probable that most laptops that you buy have not the highest quality thermal paste on the heat sinks. And over time, the thermal paste can get a little drier and a little less efficient at transferring to the heat sinks. All of those things can happen. I wouldn't worry too much. You don't need to open it and clean it. If it's like getting noticeably worse and worse and worse, cleaning it out might be a good idea, but you don't have to worry about it too much. A little bit of fan noise is definitely normal, especially if you're running something. If you're using, say, Chrome or Chromium and you have a ton of tabs open, that usually gets a bit resource intensive, so you might see your fan noise increasing that way. Oh yeah, that's true too. You don't even have to take the thing apart. I'll tell you though, it is a lot of fun to take laptops apart. I've done it a bunch of times. Actually, okay, this is a cool little side project that I put on hold, but I want to show this. 1 second. Okay, this is my old VO laptop. 100% totally still functional, just stripped down to its barest essentials. Of course, a screen is technically not necessary for a computer, but so the idea here, I took it all apart and I have yet to build I want to build a metal frame around it. The idea, of course, is have a frame nicely assembled and bolted together like this and mounted on a wall or something. Yeah, it doesn't look functional, but I promise you it is. I actually have a Minecraft server on this thing. But yeah, like this is all, it like, So your fan probably is, sorry, I'm pointing in the wrong spots. Your fan is probably something like this. All kinds of dust can get inside here. So if you blow into the side a little bit, you don't want to blow too long because you could kind of burn out your fan, but it's probably sitting, there's a heat sink on the CPU like this, and dust gets all in there over time. But the whole idea here, I'm keeping this. I might decide to take the screen off and make a really, really tiny thing that I could plug into a TV and just have it be like a media unit. I don't know exactly, but I could definitely make this even smaller. Like there's a lot of excess plastic. It'd be a really fun design project. I'm not going to get to it until after I move though, because I have more pressing stuff to build this month. But I just wanted to prove that it's fun to take laptops apart, and if you keep the right pieces, it still all works. When I opened it, how dirty was the fan? Pretty dirty. I mean, there's a lot of dust in it. But that was a while ago too. I don't totally remember. Let's see. All right, I gotta put this away. Mike's an alien? What? Why? Oh, because he's never played Minecraft? No, Mike's just a married man. He's, like he said earlier, he's got no time for all that stuff. It's even worse. Cobra, come on, man. You're just slamming Mike today, huh? Let him live his life. I gotta finish this thing up and get going soon. I have been all over the place today, which actually is a lot of fun. It's just not as productive, you know? Roasting me hard. No more advice. Yeah, Cobra, you've burned all of Mike's goodwill. And you know, he wasn't joking about being a mod. He could he could just boot you out of here. Now, we're not gonna. You're doing just fine, but he could. So watch out. Right. So here I am just trying to clean this up. Oh yeah, so this has to be Y, this one has to be X, and this one has to be Y. Okay, we're closer. All I need to do is correctly translate the Y finger pieces, and then we're good to go with the panels. Is your little brother? Do you have siblings, Cobra? No. I mean, yeah, caught you red-handed. Okay. Oh, that's in the wrong spot. This has to be here. Minus W. I think that's correct. No. Oh, right. I just need to do this. There we go. All right, now we're cooking. We got there. Okay. So I made the thickness of this exact. I think if I were to cut these out in reality, I'd want these to be a little bit longer so that I can glue and screw the pieces together and sand it smoother. Although maybe not, I don't know. I'll have to see when I construct it. All right, now we've got the panel working okay. Let me try to, let's translate a panel. Oh, wait, let's do this just a little bit easier here. Let's do this. Let's do let P be panel length width thickness, right? Yeah. Oh, sorry. Thank you. My big dumb face in the middle of the screen. Not helpful. You might play. You were enjoying the scene? My ugly mug. You might play some Neon Genesis Evangelion. Evangelion? I don't know how to pronounce that. Too lazy to do programming? Well, you know, you don't need to be programming constantly. A little bit of break is good. It is only Tuesday, though, so try not to rush your week. Yeah, so I don't know if you saw that. I just was able to get... I fixed the panel finger sides. They now scale appropriately to the length and width so that they're not floating in the middle of nowhere. So now I'm just going to try put a panel. Let's do union the panel, and now let's just try to translate another panel by hey, see you later, Cobra. Thanks for tuning in. It's always fun. Have a good sleep, and maybe I'll see you later. Let's divide the length by 2. Width by 2 as well. Just have those available. Oh, gotta close this. Geez, that's hard to see. It's also wrong. Oh, it has to be L plus T, right? Oop. Just trying to give myself a little gap here to check that it's... Yeah, okay, so that's working, right? That makes sense. Let's do let's do one now plus 0 plus W plus T. Okay. So that they're both looking good, and the moment of truth. Oh, of course I'm being a little goofy here, right? This panel on the left has to be, that's the wrong panel. It has to be P2, which is panel of width thickness. And then this one here is P2. But it should work. Oh, I did the wrong one. This one. Dang it. Oy, oy, oy. Oh, right. So this one has to be... This has to actually be width plus length divided by 2, right? plus thickness. Yes. Dang it. Am I? Ugh, man, I am so sorry. I'm just not paying attention right now. Editing the wrong stuff all the time. Yeesh. Okay. This one. Here. There we go. That's what I want for that one. Now this one. It's gotta be. There we go. Okay, so using this as a visual, it actually it looks like it'll match up just fine, right? See that? This slot will, or a finger will match into this slot just fine. Okay, so that actually looks like it will work. Is it a design that I would be happy to make this weekend? I think probably. I mean, the size of this is obviously way off, but it might do the trick. Before I get too far ahead of myself, I would like to finish this by rotating it appropriately. So let me think about a clever way to rotate it. Because if I just rotate this now. Oh, geez. Oh, geez, Rick. There we go. If I rotate this one, let's say about x, math pi divided by 2, 0, 0. I have to rotate it first and then translate it, right? The order of these things matters in this case. Yeah, so it's still wrong, so the translate has to be adjusted, which is fine. This is making me realize that I should do this as a thread last. P, not capital P. I'm gonna get going in about 10 minutes, but this is actually, you know, progress of a good kind. Proves a simple enough design. I made a decision about not going crazy with different material plans and just sticking with something fairly simple. I'm happy with that. That's a win. This isn't done by any means, but it's always a good start. No such thing as bad progress. Now, I guess that's true. Definitionally, right? Progress is, I don't know, maybe. No, you know what? I agree with you. I'm going to take it. This has been a good day. Has been a good day. I really enjoy chatting, but, you know, depending on the people in chat, it totally changes my focus, right? Like, things can swerve quickly, and that's not a bad thing. It just, you have to stay on your toes, right? Okay, so there we go. This is more, in my opinion, a little more readable. You read, how did that, come on, there we go. Right, so the shape P runs through a translate, then runs through a rotate in this order. I'm gonna just hide this for now. So what I would actually like is to rotate it first, and then the translate, I'm gonna make it 0, 0, 0, just to see where I'm ending up. So this should translate 0 in X, and it should translate, let's imagine it translates half in Y, right? So half the width, That's approximately correct. Gotta be, oh, right, of course, width plus thickness divided by 2. Oop. Right? Was that gonna get me where I need to be? Yep. And then the height should be the same calculation. Oh. Oh, no, of course. It'll have to be also the width. Yeah, of course. All right, let's see, is that actually lining up correctly? Let's do 0.01 gap it here. Hey, please. Did it? Maybe it's just too small of a gap. Yeah, okay, there we go. Oop, oh, uh-oh. There we go. Yeah, okay, that's working. That's correct. Let's get rid of the gap there. All right, now corner pan, I'm pretty convinced that this will work. I just want to nest that in the corner there, and then that should be okay. Yeah, let's get this built in here. This is gonna be P2 with a rotate. This one has to rotate about Y, so I have to do this. 0x, 90 y, and 0 z. And then the translate, nice and simple. Is this gonna work? Okay. Translate in x. L plus t divided by 2. Let's see if that makes sense. Did I do something wrong there? Oh, I have P2 twice in here. That's not good. Doesn't make sense to me. There we go. Okay, so that is on the right line there, and then the height difference is actually going to be the same calculation here, so that can just slide right in there. Oop. I guess it worked, but it didn't work. I don't know what happened. It spit out an error, but is still rendering okay, so let's be happy with that. All right, let's just have a quick peek here. I am noticing something wrong. Wait a second, what's going on here? Oh, maybe there we go. Right? Yeah. I rotated it the wrong way, so it was a mirrored version. Hey, there it is. Okay, that works. Okay, I'm happy with that. That is pretty awesome. Only it might make sense to scale the, looks like it's locking up nicely. Yeah, it lines up exactly correct. The only oh man, this is hard to follow. Sorry, it's not necessarily going to come out cleanly on stream. There is a cube gap here at the corner, right, where there's no material at all. But that is actually completely fine. I need to, like, there's some additional work I have to do to make these stackable. I also have to pop holes in the side panels here so I can attach some kind of handle system. So this is not done. It's just the basis for what I want. I also want to probably come up with a reinforcing frame that maybe it's, see, this I have to figure out exactly, but maybe a metal rod frame that sits loosely inside it or something like that. But all of that will come in future designs. This is coming along quite nicely. I am going to get going just after I try to change these numbers just to see that it is scaling appropriately. So let's actually try one that's a cube. I also just realized if this works simply enough, I could just make some plyometric like box jump boxes with this design. Nice and simple actually, but that would be a nice little bonus. Right, so in the case of a box jump thing, for example, I would probably want to go with a thicker material, and I might want a reinforcing center line or something. Did that actually change? I didn't see it. I blinked. Yeah, it does. Dang, I'm happy with this. That is chonky. That is a real chonk. I might want to have the panel, like the finger number, be parametric outside of the scope of the panel, outside of the scope of the panel function, but I'll leave it as is for now. This is what I really love about parametric modeling and programmatic design. Once you have your basis, right, and you have a good feedback approach, it's so much fun to keep experimenting with different design ideas and just messing with the numbers and seeing what shapes come out. It, like, I love it. It's also lots of fun. So let's imagine the height of this is only 1 foot. It's going to look pretty shallow. Why is it not? Oh, did I not save it? Something may have gone wrong. I may have messed something up and I don't know what it is. Well, maybe I was talking too soon, huh? There might be problems related to this panel idea. I'm just going to delete it because it was a bad idea. Okay, so this panel, I wonder if yeah, I don't know. I'll have to look into it. It seems like it might bug out a little bit at certain low numbers. See, like 12 doesn't seem to be working. Oh. Gonna have to work on that, but that is okay. Oh, 400's pretty aggressive. Oh, okay. I realized that what's actually happening here is I actually did this wrong. uh, I have the width and height completely dependent on one another. I haven't scaled. Yeah, I did that wrong. So, what that means is for the panel function's fine. Panel 2 should not be width and width. It should be width and height. And panel... okay. It's... Of course, there's more than two panel... Right. So there's P1, P2, P3. That's what's going on here. So P1 is the base, P2 is the side, and P3 is going to be... No, this one's P1, this is P3, P2. Okay. We're getting close. I have to fix this. Let me leave a little note here. Adjust P1, P2, P3, translates and rotates to build proper box. Okay, there we go. That is fantastic as a start. I mean, this looks ridiculous now, but it's nothing to worry about. I just have to move the rotations and stuff like that. So big win. Oh, wait a second. P1 is length width. P2, I want width height. And this one should be length height. Maybe that'll fix that. Close. Best box I've ever seen. Sure it is. There we go. Okay, we're almost there. These are just translated not to the correct heights is all it is, basically. Let's also rearrange this. Right. This should be H, and this should be H. There we go. We're back. Back in business. Okay, now let's see what this looks like if I make it 12. There we go. That's what I'm talking about. There it is. Ugh, having a great time with this. Sweet. That's fantastic. All right. I'm going to get going. That was great. I feel like I got a good chunk accomplished. I feel like I can use this workflow to get some real design work done. I'm extremely happy with that. Thanks for tuning in. I always appreciate that. It is Tuesday, right? Yeah. So I won't be here. I won't be streaming tomorrow, but I should be back on Thursday. Yeah, you know it at this point, Mike. You know the schedule. Yeah, definitely good progress today. Thanks for that. Yeah, see you Thursday. Totally. Have a good night. Have a good day tomorrow, and I'll be back on Thursday. See you later.